Hello, this is Norma and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some Liberian dry rice medicine. So what I need is some kettle, and this is very bitter. Well, they have two kinds. They have the kind that is very small, and that one is more bitter than this one. This one is a little bit milder, it's bigger. So if you want it very, very bitter, get the small ones. But this is the one that somebody sent me, so that's what I'm going to be using. If you don't want it too bitter, you can rinse it, boil it, and rinse it maybe 1 or 2 times, and it won't be as bitter. I'm going to be using some habanero peppers. I'm going to be using Maggi cubes. I'm going to be using salt. And I'm going to be using shrimp, the dry shrimp. I'm going to blend it up. We call it dry rice medicine because you can just take your rice and just put this on it and you have a meal. It is so good with all the fish and everything that I'm going to use. This is a smoked herring, and I have some dry boni. So what I did, I soaked it, and now the herring is on the left and the boni is on the right because I'm going to blend it, so I don't want my blender to get broken. So now let's start the process of blending all these ingredients. I blended it. I forgot to tell you I will be using some oil. I left few pieces of my smoked fish. You can blend everything, but that's how I like to do mine, to just have a little bit of chunks in it. I'm going to stir that. Put a little bit of water in there, not much, because when I blended it, I have water. We're not going to put my seasoning yet. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can put it on your stove and let it cook for a little bit before you add the oil, but I'm just going to add the oil in there before I take it to my stove. I'm putting a lot of oil because when it cooks, since this one don't have any additives, you have to put the oil on top of the dry rice medicine. So I put a lot of oil in there to cook it and fry it. So let's go to my stove. I have it on my stove. I have my stove on high, and once it starts to boil, and I'll turn it down to medium. So we'll be back. It has started to boil. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and my 3 Maggi cubes. You can season it the way you want to season it. And now I'm going to turn that down and let it start to cook and fry, and we will be back. My pan is kind of shallow. I had to turn it down to medium low because it was flashing. Make sure you use a non-stick pan when you're frying it so nothing sticks. So it's continuing to cook. You can see all the water in there, and we don't want that. You can see it's been cooking for like an hour, and there's still a lot of water in there. I put it on very low, and now it's just going to hang out and cook and fry. And this is the time you can prepare your mason jars. You have to give it a water bath. If you don't know how to do it, just look at my Liberian vinegar pepper video. This dry rice medicine does not have any additives in there, and you don't want it to go bad. So nothing you put around here should be dirty. So make sure you wash it and boil it before you put this in to keep it in your fridge. When you do that, you can keep it for a long time. Even the mason jars, you can freeze them. So make sure you don't miss that step of giving your mason jars water bath. It's still frying. I forgot to tell you, do not cover it when you're making this. You don't want gravy, or you don't want a stew You want it to dry down, and you want to get rid of the water. So covering it will keep the moisture inside. So let it continue to fry. So my Liberian dry rice medicine is all ready. It took me almost 3 hours to make it dry down. You don't want any water in there. And it depends on the quantity of how much you have. Sometimes it could take less, and sometimes it can take more. So let's go so we can jar these. After I put my dry rice medicine in the jars, this is what I'm going to be eating. I've got some jasmine rice, I've got some dry rice medicine, and a piece of fish. I have my jar and my funnel, and I'm just going to pass the dry rice medicine through the funnel. You want to make sure when you put it in there, there's oil that's on the top. And you can keep this for over a year in your fridge if you just make sure it's clean. Every time you use it, don't double dip with any spoon since it has no additive. Anytime you use it, you clean around the mouth before you seal it back and put it back in your fridge. One jar is done. I'm not going to seal it yet because it's hot. I'm just going to put it aside, and when it gets cool, I'm going to seal it and put it in my fridge. So let's move on to the other jar. Now that everything is in the jar, you see how easy it is to make your Liberian dry rice medicine. You just make sure that all the process is clean. Your jars are boiled, your environment is clean, everything you use, even the funnel. I took it and put it in my dishwasher and ran it because it has no additive. You don't want any mold to get in any of your pepper or any of your spices that you make. And when you put this in your ice box, you can keep it for over a year. If you don't double dip, you make sure you clean around it, everything will be good. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button so each time I upload you will be notified. Bye bye.